Welcome back everyone to Piney Plays the Brawler, where last time Elmer decided to find out if Foster would be willing to evacuate his people from his lands and go to Adoras, and it looks like Foster is refusing to budge.
We have to return to Edoras at once.
I need to report to the king that Foster is refusing to move his people across the Entwash. We simply do not have the riders we would need to effectively defend them here. In West Rohan, we will have a better chance of protecting the people. Come with me to Edoras, Pine Punch. We will sort this out with my Uncle Theoden. Alright, let's then head off to Theoden.
My Uncle Theoden will listen to me and put right the situation with Reeve Fostred. He is still king in Rohan.
We'll have to find out what could possibly go wrong. Look there, Pine Punch. Behold the golden hall of Meduseld, seat of my Uncle Theoden, king of Rohan. We had to come here at midnight, where it would be hard to see the hall, right? We will speak with my uncle and obtain a decree the Reeves will be unable to ignore. They must move their people across the Entwash where they can better protect them. I'm just thinking Harwick following this particular decree. Yeah, the Reeve Cliving, yeah, I don't see him doing so either. Well, maybe Horn's father. I guess that's always a possibility. But where were we? Oh yes, where he could better protect his people. A decree by Theoden King will be more difficult for them to ignore, I deem. Elmer looks momentarily discomfited. I rode north with my Arid to hunt the orcs against my uncle's wishes. He may still be displeased, but we must hope that he will forgive the disobedience for its happy result. The death of the orcs. Well, let us go. Well, not if... This way. We'll speak with my uncle. Those are good men, trusted with protection of the King Theoden. I hope that they are ready to climb, my friends. Oh, that we are ready to climb, yes. Lord Aylmer, did you fight the orcs? Yes, we destroyed them all. Oh yeah, we destroyed all the orcs. That's good. Careful now. Something's not right here, Pine Punch. Uh-oh. I see the influence of Grima Worntongue. What? We will set things right. Hama, have you? I have come with these 3 companions to see my uncle. Now, Grima Worntongue, of course. I think we've heard his name banter about a few times, but of course, the biggest time we heard it was within the prison of Isengard, where we were told the story by the steward that Worntongue was betrayed the steward when the steward was willing to help Gandalf by bringing him some food. Hama. I am Hama, the door-ward of Theoden. You have come to the golden hall of Meduseld in the presence of Aylmer, nephew of the king, and you are welcome here as himself be. See, if he speaks well of you, alright? Aylmer, these are unusual companions that you bring to Adoras. These are unusual times, Hama. Some would say that they require more friends rather than fewer. That is not what Grima would say. I say this is further proof of his wisdom then. Grima's words are nothing to me. Will you let us in to see my uncle? You know who I am, Hama. Yes, Aylmer. You and your friends may pass. I only ask that they leave their weapons outside. Now, I wonder... will Hama recognize a pair of battle gauntlets as weapons? Of course, my fists are also very much weapons, but that's aside, it's another matter. I'm not leaving my fists outside. Anyway, and that they're just the fists of a hobbit, right? I mean, what on earth could a hobbit do by simply punching you, right? I don't understand why I must leave my bow with this man punch. Do they not trust my word as an elf? If I say that I'll do no harm to the king, no harm will come to him from my hand. It is not that I'm offended, it is just that we went to some trouble to recover this bow the last time it left my possession, and I don't believe that you will win a similar wager to get it back again. I will leave it here with this man Hama. The Rohirrim seem to be afraid of elves. I believe that I will make a frightful face at one of them and cow him into returning my bow, if it came to that. Alright. Okay, you'll leave your bow behind. Well, what about you? I will leave Nona's sword with Hama, for I trust the doorward of Theoden and know him to be an honorable man. He will see to it that the blade is returned to me after our audience. I do not like to be without it even for a moment, but I will do as Theoden King requires, especially since Theoden King is probably not very happy with Horn as it is. So, certainly don't want to rub salt into those wounds. And what about Aemir? Oh, that's right. Actually, that's the next biggest time that we heard of Grima Wormtongue, is because he is the one, of course, who arranged for Horn to be exiled. That's clear enough. I think that's pretty much heavily implied in there. And so, what about Aemir? I am sorry that you must be inconvenienced in this way, Pine Punch. Do not blame Hama for it. He is simply doing his duty. The safety of the king must come at first of all, and keeping the weapons of strangers outside the hall can ensure this. It will never like this in the days of old, however. I sense the influence of Grima in this. Alright, well, we're not going to go into debates, because since Brawlers were created after this quest was written, it's obviously not going to take into account that I am carrying battle gauntlets. And besides, they really don't have the player's weapons taken away from them in this. Don't know why, but I don't think I've ever noticed them being gone from the player in this. If you leave your weapons outside the hall, I'll bring you to Theoden King. Alright, let's go. Here we are in Meduseld. Come with me. I will bring you before Theoden King. And you see, no changes to the looks of my weapons or anything like this. You'd think that they would have cosmetically removed your weapons or something like this, but they didn't do that in Isengard either, where you're actually actively using the weapons all throughout this time that you're a prisoner. So, there are differences in flavor text and player convenience, shall we say. He will call for you before him. My king, I have always served you faithfully and well. Faithfully? Is that my master Glewine? He taught me the craft when I was young. What has he done? I have been minstrel for you for many years. It is an honor to serve you. Enough of this! You are guilty of spreading lies and deceit throughout Aedoras! Theoden King, please listen to me. My minstrel, Glewine, I would never speak against you, my king. I didn't mean... Guards! Seize this man! Cast him from Aedoras! Never to return! My king, please! Alright, so Glewine is being... Actually, I might be conflating Glewine's exile with Horn's exile when I was thinking about how much Worntongue had to do with it. I still think Worntongue has something to do with Horn's exile. I have seen enough, Pine Punch. It is as I feared when my uncle forbade me to pursue the orcs. He is not his own. It is Grima's doing. Yeah, well, of course, because Grima certainly wouldn't want you to kill Saruman's orcs, right? Because Grima's working for Saruman. Oh, did I say that? Uncle! Eomer. Oh, Eomer. I have returned from the hunt. The orcs are destroyed. Eomer, sister son. You dare to return here after flouting the king's command not to pursue the orcs? The king's command? To my memory, it was your command, Grima Worntongue. Your commands have the weight of a breeze in the grass to me. I speak with the king's voice. Grima, the orcs. Uncle, you mustn't worry yourself so. See, you trouble the king. Your presence is painful to him. Amherst, Oh, maybe I better not get involved here. Bah! I will speak with Hama about this. Nephew of the king or not, you should have left your blade outside. I know what it is you seek for Rohan and for yourself, O Grima. Well, you should have none of it. Take him to the dungeons. He's a danger to the king. I'm getting their dialogues mixed up here. Listen to me, all of you. Can you not see the Rohan has been left undefended? Bring Eomer to the dungeon and cast Gleowinna from Aedoras. You, there, little one, come here. I don't think he ever saw me, though Saruman knew of me, so who knows. Grima studies you with piercing eyes, and he feels distinctly uncomfortable. How much knowledge of your imprisonment in Isengard did Saruman share with his nefarious agent? You learn in the caverns below Isengard that Grima is a pawn of Saruman, but does Grima know that you know? Do I know if he knows that never mind. Eomer is accompanied by the lowest sort of folk. Hey, no fair about thy height. And who else is this with you? Has Stangard fallen? Have the Easterling raised it? How else can we explain why Horn has come before the king? Easterlings. Grave threat. Theoden, the men of Stangard still stand strong. But your lands are beset by dangers. You must open your eyes to this. Silence! You speak the same treasons as Gleowinna, your master. I speak the truth. Theoden king, you must release Eomer. Rohan needs him. Eomer, my king, you know not to set any hope upon Eomer. Have you forgotten the curse over Yenda? It claimed the life of your son, and will claim Eomer's life as well. Theodred. It is the order of the king that this rabble be cast into the dungeon alongside of Eomer. Grima, have mercy. Their crime is that of Gleowinna, not that of my brother. Yes, Lady Eowyn, you speak with wisdom that befits your beauty. The three of you are banished from Aedoras. You are forbidden to cross the Entwade. You must remain cast across the river. If you disobey the commander, you'll suffer the penalty of death. Be thankful for the mercy of Theoden, king of Rohan. You notice in the sentence, the king didn't speak a single word of it. But Eowyn, of course, said, well, yeah, he accused us of Gleowinna's crime, so we ultimately suffer his punishment. Grima stares at you with those piercing eyes. You are fortunate, little one, he says, the shadow of a half-smile creasing his lips. That will not happen again. Ooh, he has it out for me. And there is the bridge across Entwade, which we are not allowed to cross at this time. Right? I know the game's not going to prevent it, but the story prevents it.
This is terrible. It is as I feared.
It's as I feared when I sang the song that resulted in my banishment to Stangard. The king is truly under the power of a malevolent force. Grima Worntongue, not Theoden rules in Rohan, and now Éomer is captive in Adoras.
I do not know what we can do.
Éomer's imprisoned, and we cannot cross the Entwash. The people of the Sucrops are in grave danger from the fervor of the Reeve, and I thought Nona would have returned by now. I am fortunate that the king did not comment on my return from Stangard, or I would be in the dungeon alongside with Éomer, or worse. We have failed in everything, Pine Punch. I swore to stand by you once I was cast from Stangard, but everything I have tried to do has ended in failure and disappointment. I'm sorry. Now, yes, now this is the conclusion of the chapter, or I should say of the book.
By order of Theoden King, you three are to stay on this side of the Entwash.
If the command of the king changes, I will be informed by Raven. I don't doubt, but until then, you will stay there and stay here. Alright, so therefore, we will not be able to cross in here. Raven, I'm just wondering, would the Rohirrim use ravens as messenger birds? I mean, the Dunlendings in the game are using Crebain. I could imagine the dwarves using ravens. Now it is established in the storyline already of the Rangers using ravens. I'm just wondering, would the Rohirrim use ravens as messenger birds? Obviously they haven't gotten around to training pigeons yet or anything like that. Alright, what about Cúradan?
Why is Horn so upset? Have we not done what we set out to do?
We tracked our mutual friends across the Easternment and only gave up the chase when we were assured of their safety. We did much good here in Rohan. That is more than can be said for some of the Aldors and Thanes and Reeves that we have encountered. Yes, will have to agree with that. We will see to it the future brings, and did we not? Think of Ruthrif, Pine Punch, Baldbark the Ent. Finding one of the tree herders still alive in Fangorn was not even a glimmer of a hope in my mind when you, Horn, Nona, and I began our journey down the Anduin. But that was such a happy discovery, all the more because it was unexpected. Perhaps Nona will come back to us when she has divined her innermost mind. Theoden may come to his senses and release Éomer. We may find our paths crossing again with that of Gandalf, or with that of Aragorn, son of Arathorn. Tomorrow will be less bleak. We will face it together, will we not? Give Horn these words, and tell him that if Cúradan the Elf can see hope for the future, surely Horn, the man of Rohan, can find some small measure of light on which to rest his thoughts. What does Horn think about this?
What would Cúradan be saying today if we had not run into that Ent?
Oh, you are both right, though, my friend. Tomorrow will be brighter. There's no sense in mulling on the past or worrying about the future. We will take one day after another as the sun rises and sets, and await the dawn with hope. We must do what we can for the people of East Rohan. We must help them prepare their defenses. We must help them fight what battles we can, and we must help them rebuild if the battle goes ill. We stand between the people of Rohan and their enemies. We stand before them. We must not fail them. We will not fail them. Our work here is just beginning, Pine Punch. If on the morrow we need to cross the Entwade for the good of Rohan, and at the risk of our own lives, we will. But today, we will do what we can for the people on this side of the line. May fortune smile on Corden, and on you, and on me, and on Nona, wherever she may be. Good fortune and victory. 3 is ours today. Baruch is oh, sorry. Alright, so correct Khazad-dûm tracery. Speaking of Baruch Khazad. Now, chapter 10. Now, or I should say book 10. Book 10 is going to be a little bit tricky in here because I think that comes after the storyline for Hootbold. So I'm going to think about, should I do this immediately or should I go over and try to, I don't know, because going all the way, and going over to Wildermore before doing Hootbold just will sound funny. Will we go to Wildermore or will we go to Hootbold? We'll find that out in the next episode of Piney Plays The Brawler.